It's a gauntlet in the Big 12 this year, and especially for ASU, when you get home games that you feel like you can win, those may be the biggest you have all year.
ASU is 4-3 on this floor this season. They control the opening tip. Mukeba lost the handle. Kansas State loves to play fast. Johnson, second thought three, bottoms.
Well, that's going to be the key for this Kansas State team. They are a fantastic three-point shooting team when they're rolling. When they play well, hitting the first shot is a big deal for them.
Johnson, 42% for the Wildcats from beyond the arc on the season. Mukeba, 10 to shoot for the Sun Devils. Down to 6 on the timer, and a whistle and a walk, and Arizona State has turned it over on their first 2 offensive possessions.
Yes, a thing that this team, you would think, they have good guard play, right? We talked about Odom in the open. Bobby Hurley right there, one of the greatest point guards in college history. And they've always had good guard play.
Lob on the inside, McGriff sticks it.
Nice
the assist to Johnson.
Yeah, nice set play to get that screen underneath, cross down under the bucket. ASU definitely defending for the 3. They go for the 2 on that one.
Out high, Pig Johnson pulls the trigger. Offensive rebound, Truitt. Odom, he hits.
As we mentioned on that open, Odom has not shot it well recently. That's big for ASU. But I think bigger right there, James, an offensive rebound. ASU has really struggled rebounding the ball this year.
3 off the mark from Rapiak. Batted around underneath, Arizona State basketball. K-State, 3rd most turnovers, almost 13 per game. That's been an issue. Meanwhile, Arizona State forces over 14 per night, top 5 in the conference.
Yeah, and ironic that I mentioned both teams turn it over. They both handle it well. They have terrific guard play. So a little bit something you would not think from these 2 teams.
Deep in the timer, Truitt got it over McGriff.
I'll tell you what, that was a nice bucket for Truitt. Averages 8 a game. He's a guy that if they can get buckets from him, same with K-State, kind of the 3rd, 4th option, if they can get guys to step up, is big for them today.
K-State's top 3-point shooter misfires, Bashir. ASU on the move, and a whistle and a foul at the top of the key. Goes against the Wildcats.
Yeah, Truitt at 6'11", right, can use his size down low. ASU, ironically, not a good rebounding team, but one of the tallest teams actually in the nation. Right now, 11th in the nation in total height or collective height. So using their size right there, at least offensively.
David Castillo checks in for the Wildcats. The 2nd leading scorer comes off the bench for K-State.
They're a tough team, right? But they're a pretty skilled team, and some of these guys are more skilled. Here's Job, and that's one of them right there. Terrifically skilled player, but not really yet a great rebounder.
He's a freshman from the Senegal. Draws the foul, will shoot 2.
Well, grew up in that Real Madrid program, so understood, had great coaching, has good footwork. You saw them draw the foul. Not a whole lot on that contact there. Maybe did they get him down below or before the shot?
They call it on the floor. ASU triggers in. Odom, quick. Foul on the perimeter. The 3 won't count.
Odom does a great job in the pick and rolls, the PNRs, and he does a great job also getting fouls. That's a foul right there. You're going to see. We see a lot of players in college now kind of taking after the NBA. You get this kind of head bob right there, the SGA head bob, and they copy the pros.
They called the foul on David Castillo, the K-State guard. Coffin corner 3, and Castillo claims it for the Wildcats.
Excited to see Castillo play. comes off the bench typically for them, but he's also a dynamic player both offensively and defensively.
Prior to the Arizona game last time out, he was averaging over 17 over a 5-game stretch. Johnson's three pops out. ASU on the move. Arizona State's down 2 of their top 8 rotational players. They're without Marcus Adams and Bryce Ford today. Baby J, no.
Great job by Tig Johnson on the penetration there.
Kansas State hasn't scored in over 2.5 minutes. Haggerty, his first look, short. Buka on the inside, had position on Jop. It's a foul on Arizona State.
They had on the holiday break, right? They lost to Oregon State. That was the loss that really kind of set them back, and then Colorado was a game they felt they could win. Other than that, they've had a really good season, but there's been a bad taste in their mouth because of those losses.
Haggerty is smothered on the sideline. 5 to shoot for K-State on the offensive end.
Well, good job by Bobby Hurley there. Out of the timeout, they went to the double, a quick double to trap that first pass, and that had K-State a little bit concerned there.
Buka underneath, one-on-one. Throws it up, left it short, didn't draw any iron, and a shot clock violation for the Wildcats.
I thought Buka did a nice job for the first part of that catch. He was patient, used his feet, but then faded away on that jump hook. And by the way, we should note, Buka had his best game of the season against Arizona the other night. So look to him to maybe have a little momentum coming into this one.
Yeah, Buka's shot didn't look close to drawing iron from where we sit.
Yeah, he got really bodied on that delivery on the jump hook and needs, like I said, to really get into his player instead of the fadeaway.
ASU with possession, a kick underneath, stays on this end with the Sun Devils. 7 transfers on this Arizona State team this season. 6 of them combined for 76 points at their previous stop. Johnson to the rack. As we welcome in those of you who just saw Houston and Baylor. You're on the NBC Sports Network with former Arizona Wildcat Matt Muehlbach. I'm James Wesley. K-State and Arizona State both 0-2 in Big 12 play. Tough schedules to open the league slate. And needing a win here today is Johnson at the line for ASU.
Yeah, both teams hungry. I'd go far as to say somewhat desperate for a win. This Big 12 is filled with landmines in terms of teams home and road. And Bobby Hurley knows you get a road or a home game, I should say, against a team similar as you, a team that you think you can beat, and it becomes vitally important to get a win, especially starting off the Big 12 season 0-2.
Johnson splits the pair. Arizona State has their first lead. Kansas State hasn't scored in 4 minutes. Haggerty, wild dribble, tries to drop it off. It's out of bounds, and K-State turns it over for the second time. Last time out for the Wildcats, they played Arizona, the #1 team in the country. Lost 101-76. Just the second time in 4 seasons under head coach Jerome Tang that K-State gives up more than 100.
And Jerome Tang, nice dish there, tries to flush that and a good meet at the rim. Coach Tang actually was fairly positive. You don't see that a lot in a 25-point loss, but just felt like Arizona was too big, too strong for his team. He felt like they competed. Biggest thing, just didn't make shots.
Bashir. Haggerty, his best look, knocks it down. It's a 3.
Haggerty doesn't shoot a ton of threes. This year, only about 21% of his shots are threes. He's shooting it well, though, from that distance, and a big shot for him, I think, to get him going.
Second leading scorer in the Big 12, circling baseline, Odom, and a foul on the rebound. It goes against K-State. Back to the Haggerty 3 on the other end.
Well, one thing, K-State, here's that play right there down low, and you see the meat at the rim. Nice job defensively, but a great job. Drive, draw, and dish. Classic play right there. You spread them out. And Kansas State, when they're playing well, we talked to Coach Tank, hey, share the ball. Don't let it stick. Make the ball move. And Haggerty's usually the one making it move and setting up teammates. It's nice for a guy like him, when you're the leading scorer, hey, someone set me up and gave me 3. That's a good feeling.
Preseason Big 12 newcomer of the year, Arizona State throws it away. K-State basketball, 3rd blunder for the Sun Devils. Both teams are cold. Arizona State's missed 5 straight. Kansas State's made 1 of their last 7. Haggerty plays keep away with Bashir, fires a 3. Rebound, ASU. Odom rises up, tough shot, sputters off. Saved underneath. Odom to the rack, finishes.
Again, we're seeing ASU getting second chance opportunities. Odom taking advantage there. We see him, again, not very tall, but so good in the lane.
Castillo turning the corner, stuffed. Jop with the denial. And it's Kansas State basketball. Haggerty poked it off the knee of Odom.
Yeah, here's that play right there by Odom, and you can see just using his quickness, the speed, able to get it over Buka right there pretty easily because he is so fast. Now blocked by Jop that you just called, and that was pretty easy block for him. The length, a factor in this one.
Jop had a huge game last time out against BYU with 22 points, an impressive freshman. Shot clock at 10. Bashir, one-on-one with the 7-footer. Leaner. McGriff fumbles it out of bounds, and Kansas State will give it back to the Sun Devils.
I'll tell you what, Jop did a nice job right there, and I think what Jop did well, good scouting report. Bashir is a tremendous three-point shooter, but shoots almost 80% of his shots from 3, recognizing, hey, make him a driver. Don't fall for the little move before the three-point shot.
Underneath, spinning. Rebound, Wildcats. McGriff hustling back, Jop with that length, speed, and reach. Kansas State will reset underneath.
Now this feels like it's going to be a close one the whole way, doesn't it, James? I mean, 2 teams very, very similar in terms of just how good they are, what they've done. They both had some really good wins, as you noted. Couple of bad losses, but really solid teams, and they match up pretty well.
It was a wild one last season here in Tempe between these 2 clubs. K-State won it 71-70.
Jop airing guys out, running traffic right there, throwing the high-low, the beautiful pass, and nice finish.
Mukeba 1-on-3. ASU reclaims the lead. Kansas State takes it right back. Bashir with the dead eye.
All right, we got Jordan Cornette back in the studio, and I know what Cornette's saying, because Bashir did not make a 3 against Arizona, and the only time this entire season he didn't. And he's gonna be gunning today. I had a game earlier this year where a guy didn't score, and Cornette correctly predicted this guy's gonna be going for it. Shots that I would have rather had my guys take that they did not take. So and I love too, he comes into the game with a plan. How many threes he wants certain players or bigs to take.
Told us prior to tip that K-State has to be the aggressor here on the road. Johnson, dashing, miss at the rim. Arizona State has turned it over 4 times already in this first half. They've made just 2 of their last 10 field goals.
And with Odom out, where do they go for points? Usually it's Pick Johnson. Him getting to the line is where they find points.
Down in the corner with 7 on the timer. Mukeba leaning in on the German. Close it up.
Nice job by Mukeba to recover and then use his body to get a better shot, kind of got into the defender.
Down low, McGriff, a wild one for the Cats. Sun Devils control, nursing only their second lead here in the first session. Splitting the defense, Pig Johnson, acrobatic scoop.
You called it perfectly, James. That's what enabled him to get that look on that split. And you're taking a risk when you split it like this because there's a lot of traffic in there, able to do it so well. And then how about kind of pulling the ball back all the way down, under, around? That was a special shot right there by Pig Johnson. And not to mention the contact. He's so good going through contact, getting fouls. Didn't get that one, but a beautiful play.
Mukeba got dinged up on the play, 6.5 points per game this season in 16 minutes, an uptick in minutes over the last 2 games because Arizona State's dealing with some injuries. Bryce Ford, 8 points per game out in this one for the 2nd game in a row, and then Marcus Adams Jr. also missing some time for ASU. Haggerty stop and start, drops it off. Buka denied underneath by Jop. His 3rd block.
Well, Chop had 26 blocks leading this team coming in. And you look here, Buka goes up and just did not have the right leverage. Kind of, again, fading away instead of going into Jop. Shot blockers, you got to go into them. And it was just a bad angle for him. Jop made him pay.
Celine Buka, number 22 in the purple, a late addition in the recruiting process right before the season from Romania. At the midway point of this first half, throwing it up, Truitt gets it down.
And Truitt shows how you take advantage of a mouse in the house, how you take advantage of a mismatch right there. Beautiful job by Truitt.
Haggerty bailed out by a whistle. It's an Arizona State foul.
Well, first this was Odom recognizing that Truitt had a smaller player on him, right? So he throws it down. Truitt just took his time, and there's an art into banging, but not too hard to get that offensive foul. We see on the other end on this one right here, Haggerty tries to get it in the lane. I didn't see what they called there, James.
A foul.
I'm not sure what it was. It looked like a turnover.
They called a foul on Pig Johnson.
Okay.
A late whistle, his first personal, and just the 2nd team foul against the Sun Devils. McGriff banging. Offensive foul. That's an easy call.
Well, you got to give a guy enough room, right, to land and catch the ball. And I think he did. If we watch this again, looked like he did. He's outside the RA. Good play defensively.
The 6th K-State foul for a Kansas State team that fouls more than anybody else in the Big 12. They commit almost 21 personal fouls per game.
What did Coach Tang say? One of the great quotes, you can't defend the free throw line. I love that, but I mean, how do you tell guys just don't foul, right? It's not as easy as it seems if that's one of the things that they tend to do.
Odom with an alley. Arizona State has their largest lead.
How about Odom's hesitation on that play? And him, Pig Johnson, an absolute throwback.
A power block underneath.
All right, I grew up in Oakland. We had some good guards, but not the Bronx. This is the Bronx, baby. The little hesitation. Look at that right there. And then the wipeout right here gets tripped up. Oh, boy. Okay. Well, we had that in Oakland for sure. We had a couple guys trip me. But, no, that was a sweet move by Odom.
Was it a trip or just really bad football? Bashir trying to get the Cats on track. Buries a triple.
And there it is. The guy that did not make a three, their best three-point shooter, and they need to get him going. He is a dynamic three-point shooter that can hit it from everywhere.
That ends the 8-0 Arizona State run. Odom throws it up. Rapiak batted it away.
Yeah, great anticipation by Rapiak there.
Castillo yet to score for the Wildcats. In the lane, runner no. Jop claims it.
ASU doing a much better job rebounding today.
Johnson, he's fouled on the floor. That's team foul number 7. So Arizona State in a single bonus with 8:31 to play before the half.
Now Bashir, he's 78% of his shots are threes. Nice little fake right there. Kind of spread the legs as he threw that up. Got his got his kind of his balance under him there. 6'7" frame allowed him to shoot over the defender. Has some nice size.
He's top 13 in the nation in made threes. Meanwhile, Pig Johnson, almost 15 points per game, normally comes off the bench. He got the start here today because of the injuries.
And where'd he get his name? Playing football in Alabama?
From Mama.
From Mama, huh? That's cool, man. One of the great nicknames right now in college basketball.
He was a tremendous youth and even high school football player. He was always dirty, and it was a compliment from his mom. Man, you're a little pig. Yeah. Pig Johnson, it stuck.
I love it.
And still today. Doesn't go by Anthony, goes by Pig.
Well, and the football aspect, or his background in football, seems to really translate to the fact that he gets to the foul line just about as much as anybody in the country right now. He has had some prolific games at the line.
Some token pressure. Bashir checks over his shoulder. In no man's land, throws it away. ASU with numbers. Johnson. Tip in, no. Johnson roars in. Buka underneath. Lost the handle. Last touched by a Sun Devil. Kansas State maintains possession. Shot clock at 10 for Johnson. Has the big drop on him. He's been a problem with 3 blocks. Manning with an alley, and he scoops it in.
Yeah, and Buka set what almost looked like a Gortat screen right there. He was so big in that position, created that alleyway for an easy layup.
Four-point Arizona State lead. Oda doubled in the short corner, walked with it. And that is turnover number 6 against Arizona State. Top 5 in the Big 12 with 26 blocks coming into this one. Already has 3 here in the first half. Johnson, quick fire 3 around and out. Buka the rebound, throws it up and swirls it home.
Yeah, that time Buka used his size and his body to get into Jop. That way, not able, Jop couldn't get his feet under him, no block shot, and a nice little lefty touch on that jump hook. A 1-3-1 here for K-State.
Eight to shoot. Sun Devils looking to dissect the zone deep in the shot clock, and they throw it away. Baseball ahead. Haggerty from behind. ASU has numbers. Johnson held and fouled on the floor.
What a hustle play, because that was such a gorgeous pass right there. I couldn't see who did that from K-State to get the break, but no give up right there. Look at Pig Johnson going all the way right off the glass right there. Just timed it perfect. And how about him coming the other way for trying to get the bucket, and then the foul? That was the perfect chase down block.
The Arizona State guards, Johnson and Odom, carrying the load offensively. They've combined with that free throw for 13 of the ASU 21. Meanwhile, on the other side for Kansas State, their leading scorer, P.J. Haggerty, just 3 points. He's made 1 basket. He's 1 for 5 from the floor.
And those chase down blocks those are momentum. You know, those things get your team going, and it goes the other way. What's the greatest chase down block in history? Is it LeBron on Iggy? It's got to be
1,000%.
No, there's not even a
the stage, the moment,
stage, right?
ASU has 5 blocks in this first half. Haggerty +1.
Now that's Haggerty's zone right there. Is that mid-range, able to use that good frame, the body there, and he's got nice soft touch in the lane too. It's a nice job there, that kind of inside-outside dribble. Showed that, a little bit of Hollywood there, but he did get hit on the arm. Nice job by him, and they need him to get going. And then on the other thing, I think Coach Tang said it to us. I mean, they need other guys to help him, because you know he's going to get his 20.
Became the only K-State player to score 20 or more in 6 straight to open the season. 19 last time out against Arizona. trims it to a 1-point deficit for the road team. Arizona State struggling against this zone. Johnson, a three's off the mark. Soaring in for the rebound. Truitt has it. Deflection, quick hands, and a K-State steal. Haggerty to the well. Late whistle. And a foul against Arizona State. They call it on Johnson.
Well, that's what you're talking about. Coach Tank said, be aggressive. And that was just all Haggerty. Nice job defensively to get the steal. No one was really open there, so he just took it upon himself, kind of 1-on-2 there.
What is K-State looking to accomplish switching up to this zone defense we've seen on the other end?
Yeah, I think they've struggled a little bit with their size down low against a couple of matchups for ASU. You can sort of figure out size-wise with zones. That's one thing with a zone you can do. And then sort of mix it up. I mean, they've been a little bit stagnant on both ends, to be frank about it. And now it's given them a little bit of life, couple steals, and some opportunities at the other end at the rim.
That was the second foul on Pig Johnson here in the first half. Following, rattles down. Mo Odom at his best.
Yeah, he's just hard to guard. He just makes stuff happen.
Manning down low. He's fouled. It is a foul fest. Manning will toe the line for Kansas State.
Well, I think Odom, he's about 6'1". They say 6'2". I think he's more like 6'1". But look at this shot. I mean, that's just fading away, going full speed. That is not easy. And the other end here, nice pump fake to create that foul opportunity by Manning.
Kansas State has committed 8 fouls in the first half. Arizona State 5. Manning shooting 2, rattles down the first. And it's portal season in Manhattan, Kansas. His cousin Josh Manning, receiver from Missouri, has committed to the Wildcats.
Oh, really? Okay. Nice. I like the deep dive there.
The real Mannings are in Manhattan, Kansas. Another foul. And this will go against Arizona State. I believe a lane violation. Manning will get another bite at it.
I was going to say, there's Bobby, not happy.
Talk about the foul trouble. K-State commits more fouls than anybody else in the Big 12, and right behind him is this Arizona State team.
Yeah, such an interesting graphic. And what's interesting about that graphic right there is, you know, on the one hand, ASU likes to get to the line. They are one of the most, you know, teams that use the line more in. And K-State, on the other hand, they typically don't get to the line. They're a three-point shooting team. Is how they get most of their buckets.
Jop, one-on-one, left it short. Buka the rebound.
He was upset. That's his go-to right there. Usually makes that. But how often does Jop play against someone who's about 7'1"?
Closing in on 5 minutes to play before the half. Haggerty pulls the trigger. An air ball out of bounds to Arizona State. That does not happen often. Haggerty draws nothing on the 3.
Looks shocked.
College basketball coming up on Peacock on Tuesday. Back in the Big East with Marquette and St. John's, 6:30 Eastern. Then Indiana and Michigan State at 7 Eastern, followed by Georgetown and Creighton.
I'm looking for that Indiana-Michigan State game. I think that's an interesting game. Indiana playing well this year. New coach, new system. Michigan State saw them the other night. Beat up on USC. But that'll be a good one.
Darren DeVries has done a sensational job in year 1 at Indiana.
Little block there from the side. I guess he just didn't anticipate Manning coming from the side. And I was going to say a couple plays ago, Manning just plays hard. I just like his effort. Wow. That is an amazing move by Jop right there. I think he finished, he turned to the right, finished with his right. This spin move for a 7'1" player, I mean, this is a rarity right here. Gets it at the elbow, that nice little spin, and finishes with the right, and that quickness with the right hand enabled him to get it up so quick that you could not, that Buka couldn't block it.
Back-to-back games for Masamba Diop with more than 20 points, averaging over 14 on the season.
That's a guy that's been coached well in the post. A lot of work in the lab to come up with that.
Kostic has entered for the Wildcats, and Diop takes his lunch money.
Might have been a pass, but it looked pretty impressive from where we were sitting. I'm not sure. It might have been a pass. Either way, Diop all over anything around the rim today.
Shot clock at 8. Bashir, hard hedge.
Going up.
Return pass. Bashir to the middle. Buka. And a foul. They call it on ASU on the interior.
It was a good point by you. With Bashir, they are hard hedging everything. They want the ball out of his hands. There's not going to be any drop coverage on him. And then ASU, Bobby's upset about, because they've been doing a great job on the help coverage. They had the charge earlier on that play, and he thought he was there. That was exactly what he was saying.
And both coaches have said similar things about all the fouls. Just mental breakdowns, little things, silly mistakes, slapping down on the basketball.
Yeah.
Buka, one of just 9 7-footers in K-State program history, getting better each and every day. Arizona State basketball after Buka goes 1 for 2. This one nearly dead even. Arizona State by a point. They've led for 6.5 minutes. K-State had a 4-minute stretch in which they held the lead.
Buka typically only plays 12 minutes a game. Feels like he's played a lot today. Maybe that matchup against Diop is the reason for it.
Timeout on the floor. Kansas State stops lower tiered programs versus 2 seasons ago when Coach Hurley brought in the #2 ranked recruiting class in the country but relied on all freshmen.
Yeah, and he likes this team, loves this team. They really get along. Nice there. That's another almost Gortat screen right there. They post up down low, and it creates space on the lane where they can almost get an uncontested layup on the other side.
This is the first K-State lead since around the 12-minute mark in this first half. The Wildcats mixing up their defenses. A 3, back to the man-to-man from Odom, in and out, and a foul, making a jump. The arrow favors the purple.
Well, here's that play where they got to the rim, and you can see right here the screen. And that kind of looks like the Gortat screen where he screens his guy to open up the lane for the layup.
Haggerty coming alive, up to 11 points for K-State, and they lead by 3.
Well, I like how Haggerty changes speeds and kind of at his own pace, then he kind of hits you with one and just has an ability, a knack for getting in the lane.
So smooth underneath. A foul on K-State. Arizona State trying to post up the big in Masamba Diop with Buka on the bench.
You know, Haggerty also 6'4", 195. Puts him in jail there. He gambled early, and then he wouldn't let him get back into position and just kept that all the way from basically almost half court. Really smart, high IQ play.
Now, when you say puts him in jail, what do you mean?
He gets him on his back, right? So, and you see that defender right there he's been real aggressive and has been taking some risks trying to get some steals, but when you don't get it, now you're out of position. And instead of letting him back into position, Haggerty the whole way just lets him ride him on his back and doesn't allow him to be in the play. And then he's strong enough to be able to lift and get that shot. That's one of the hardest parts, is at the end of that play, how do you kind of fight through contact behind you and not let it bother you?
A couple of free throws from Diop. He's a 74% foul shooter at 7'1".
Yeah, probably maybe one of the greatest players in the history of the world doing that, played on this court. James Harden.
Bashir sidestep 3, got it.
Well, that time he got Diop and he was kind of dancing up around the three-point line and got him moving enough that he was able to create space. That was beautiful by Bashir.
Odom's rebuttal way off the mark. Offensive rebound. Odom teardrop. Runnels true.
Nice job on that jump stop by Odom to just stop all his momentum. Not an easy shot. Bashir feeling it. Oh no, that was Castillo, sorry.
Haggerty and Bashir have combined for 20 of K-State's 32 in this first half. A foul over the top on this end against a Wildcat. They call it on Bashir. That's his first personal and team foul number 10. So it's double bonus time for Arizona State as the Wildcats look to get Buka back on the floor, their 7-footer. Two shots for Gribovich. Arizona State 8 for 9 from the foul line. They've attempted 25 per game on the season, top 3 in the league. They've made the 4th most free throws in this conference. They get to the line a bunch.
Yeah, they really do. Bobby Hurley has always been really good with his big and his guards being very aggressive at the rim. Dick Johnson, of course, the leader in that stat for them, but everybody is taught by Bobby to get in that lane. Bobby, what an incredible college player, is one of the greatest of all time. Still leads amazingly in the all-time assist category. That really blows me away. I know guys leave early, so there's an asterisk to that a little bit, but Bobby's numbers are so sensational.
Kostic, a 3. A foul goes against Arizona State on the loose ball scramble. It's on Job.
I think he has 5. It feels like he has 11 or 12. Just everything going up, and Job is sending back, and the timing, the awareness too. I mean, most blocks are going to happen off the ball, right? So you've got to be a very good help defender and have your mind really figured out about when you're going to go for a block. And I think he's done a great job, James, doing it when he can get the block, because a lot of guys just willy-nilly going for everything, and if you miss it, it's a lot of times a layup on the other end if they miss the shot.
Johnson gets the back end of the bonus. They called the foul on Gribovich. That is his first personal.
I think the surprise to me is Job only had 26 blocks coming in. I mean, that easily leads the team, but if you're watching, oh, he's thinking he's playing in Europe right there. Taking it off the rim. I wonder, you know, we talked about played for Real Madrid. That is just instinct coming back right there. Watch, there he is, taking it right off, and that's legal in the Euro League.
And there's been discussions about bringing that rule over here to the States. Are you in favor of that?
You know, I think it's an interesting rule. I'd have to understand kind of the metrics behind it, but I do like it. I think it adds an element that's fun for the game.
Arizona State looking to tie or reclaim the lead. Kansas State's back in their zone. Quick hands by Johnson. He's been a pest defensively. Makeba throws it up off balance.
Yeah, Makeba does a nice job. This is, I think, his 3rd bucket of the night or the afternoon, and he doesn't use glass. He actually goes right for the, you know, tries to swish it. He's been successful.
Bashir, a heat check 3. Job, Manning. Kansas State on the move after the 9th Arizona State turnover. Johnson behind the back.
Not a bad idea, but in traffic, I don't like it.
Odom, quick rise 3, way off the mark.
I'll tell you what, Manning is making play after play out there. His numbers don't always come up, but he made the steal on the one end. He came back, he gets another rebound. He gets a deflection there, causes the foul. This kid's a really tough, fun player, kind of a connector, glue guy for this team.
Foul was on Job, and that is his 2nd. Jerome Tang is animated with 41 seconds to play before the half. Manning at the line in the 1-and-1 for K-State. And he is their energy guy off the bench. Has seen a major uptick this season in his minutes per game. Cans the free throw. Got some help from the glass, and K-State retakes the lead.
I think he, from Grandview, Missouri. I think he played at Grandview High School, maybe Miege High School back there. And I played back there for 1 year in high school, and the first game I ever played was against Grandview High School.
In just his second year, he's the longest tenured Wildcat.
Isn't that amazing? It's just...
Mukeba, he was bothered, and a whistle and a foul. It's a free throw contest here down the stretch of the half. With K-State leading by 2. The foul was on Buka, his first. And Mukeba will shoot the Charities.
Well, we thought this was going to be a close game. It's been clunky at times. I feel like both teams are getting a little more rhythm the last 5 or 6 minutes. And not surprising that we're about to be tied here if he can make this next free throw.
Alan Mukeba, well-traveled, played at Colby Community College in Colby, Kansas, and then UMKC, Oakland, and Arizona State. Raves about the Kansas City barbecue.
I love it. What's your favorite? I know you've been there many times. You got family there.
Joe's, Arthur Bryant's.
I gotta go Gates. Gates is my go-to.
Sleeper pick.
Yeah, Gates is the go-to. Best ribs, best sauce. But we could have a long discussion on this during halftime if we need to.
Haggerty, tip and rattles through. Buka has been active for the Cats.
He's had a nice first half.
Kansas State leading by 2.
And a good job. I'll point this out. You know, Bobby Hurley looking right there. He's done, we'll talk about this, how many great second half comebacks. But, you know, Haggerty came to K-State to play the point guard position. Credit to him. His team only has 5 turnovers against a team that causes turnovers. Great job there.
Outside, a clean look from beyond the arc. Barely scrapes the rim. And the Wildcats are off and running. Trailing 3, Johnson. And Pig Johnson secures the miss. Truitt lost the handle. Reach and foul. Called against the Wildcats. They call it on Nate Johnson. PJ Haggerty with 11 points. Leading Kansas State on 4 of 11 shooting. Pacing for his average. It's been a quiet 11. Got going towards the tail end of that first session.
Yeah, 1 turnover as well, which is nice for a point guard.
What an effort by McGriff. Covering up the inbounder, deflects it and throws it off the leg of the guy throwing it in, and it's K-State basketball.
You know, first 5 minutes, we talk about it so often, sort of setting the stage, right? Setting that tempo for the entire second half. Who can win that first 4 or 5 minutes?
McGriff catches in traffic, spinning. Bashir, lock and load, flawless from deep.
I'll tell you what, he can really let it. He flings it, doesn't he? And I like how the legs kind of separate at the bottom, gives him that balance. And the touch, I think, is what's created by that. But great pass, too, because this pass that came out, I'm not sure he could even see Bashir. He knew he was there. You know, he'd been spinning around, but there was a lot of traffic. And Bashir, even on the great contest, easy to knock it in.
ASU plays it in. Odom, his rebuttal from the corner, it's there.
I like the term rebuttal right there, because that's what that was. That was like, hey, you knocked one in, watch this, because he didn't have to shoot that. It was early in the clock, but both teams now offensively feeling it.
McGriff on the inside, sticks it. K-State by 4. That last possession was only the second made 3 for Arizona State all game. Johnson, Jets baseline, shovels another 3, not that time. Johnson and McGriff finally snatches it for the Wildcats. They have numbers ahead. Rapiak puts it through.
Rapiak just beat everybody down there and able to use his size. And see, I think here ASU, settle down a little bit. I like them getting the ball into Jop. Like get it inside. It's a mismatch to me with Jop down low. Nobody can guard him, really.
A feathery touch.
And that was off screen and roll where he rolled right to the middle. Bashir, he's insane. I mean, goodness.
7-point K-State lead. Bashir's up to 15. K-State's made their last 4 shots. Johnson probing up and under.
That was such a good move. He could have scored on the left or the right side.
Haggerty, it's a trap bait, and he walked with it.
Yeah, that was a good call. Used his body to create the space on the first defender, but then traveled before he got to the second.
As far as you can tell, early stages of the second half, what adjustments were made in these locker rooms at halftime?
Well, I think both coaches said, we got to let this go. Like, this is a big game. Like, let's go out and play. It was a little clunky that first half, almost like they were playing slower than they do. You look at the tempo. I mean, K-State is 14 in the country in tempo. They were playing slower than normal.
And now Johnson miss. Wildcats on the move.
And now you say it, on the move. You were dead on there.
Bashir. Rebound ASU. Cherry picking Johnson. It's a 3-point game. Well, the pace is definitely picked up here in the second half.
I also wonder, James, these guys are all used to, night games typically. This is a 1 o'clock game. Maybe the clock for both teams took a minute to set.
A foul off the ball. Goes against ASU.
Now there's Johnson, you called it. He was just hanging out. Nice job with the left.
To your point about the early start, early-ish, if you will, K-State actually canceled their shoot-around this morning. Arizona State wasn't going to hold one and did not, so these teams didn't practice today.
I think that's a good point because you're out of your normal routine. Oh, he almost dropped it.
Haggerty barely gets it off.
Bashir's going to shoot. He's looking for any room he can get.
He's had the hot hand here in the second half. Rapierre goes round 3 from the 6'9" big. Just his 6th make of the season.
I would go as far as to say there's not a guy that's made 6 in the country with that type of aggressiveness fading away. He looked like he'd shot 100 this year.
A newcomer from Germany, the first ever German basketball player for K-State. That dunk wouldn't have counted.
Our guy Jordan Cornette back in the studio, and Bashir had shot, didn't make one. It was the only time he didn't make one all year against Arizona Wednesday night. And that was the joke, was I had another game where someone else didn't score. And Cornette called him out and said they're gonna have a big game, and Bashir tonight huge.
McGriff blows a gimme.
ASU, you could tell defensively. I think Bobby Hurley's gonna want to really be aggressive defensively with his team. Down 6 right here. He's going to want to take it to them on the defensive end.
Challenge plays new for this season. They get 1 timeout each half, and if they get it right, they get a second challenge. If you lose the challenge, you lose the timeout and you're done for the game. Castillo was quiet for the Wildcats in the first half. It's been the Haggerty and Bashir show on this end. Shot clock at 10. Underneath Haggerty, and it wrenched loose by Johnson.
What hands.
Johnson goes to work, lost it. He's fouled by McGriff. This will put him at the line. On this end, Arizona State has already attempted 12 free throws.
Yeah, big strip there by Pick Johnson, because that was going to be a layup. K-State was going to go up 8 on that play, but he not only saves the layup, here it is, got beat back door by Haggerty, got totally turned around. Maybe got a little wrist on that play, but then turns it around and also himself gets to the line. Felt like maybe those could have both been let go.
Foul was on McGriff, and that is his 3rd personal. Connects on the first. Arizona State 12 of 13 from the foul line in this game. Their last 4 games coming in, and as a team connecting on around 85% from the line. Johnson 2 for 2. Arizona State applying some full court pressure. Manning provided a lift for Kansas State in the first half. Checks into the game for the first time here in the second. Bashir looking for number 6. Rebound ASU. Johnson 2-on-2. Wide open at the top. Mayusin rings the bell.
And that was a nice job by Odom because that was going to be a steal, but Odom able to get his fingertip on it to sort of pass it with the touch pass.
Back to a 1-point game. Arizona State trying to snap a 4-game skid. Kansas State has also started 0-2 in Big 12 play. Foul on the floor. It's number 3 on Johnson.
Mayusin not going to get a better look than this. And Big Johnson, nice idea there, but it was going to be stolen by Haggerty had Odom not gotten his hands on it. And then Mayusin able to knock it in. Nice emotion there, too, to try to get his team going.
Haggerty weaving into the lane. So patient. And the perseverance will put him at the line for 2.
He had that little pump fake right at the end, and that is what enabled him to get the defender to jump. Here it is, right there, and then just goes into his body. Professional scorer right there.
He has not scored in the second half. You see the dip the last 2 games for Kansas State from beyond the arc, just 11 threes. And Coach Tang told us that Kansas State was really bothered by the length of BYU in Arizona the last 2 outings.
And he talked about, after that Arizona game, we were saying how he was pretty calm and just said, hey, look, 3 most important things: recovery, focus, and energy. And I loved his second comment. He said, kids are resilient. They can bounce back a lot quicker than adults can. I thought that was pretty good.
They can forget it easier. K-State by 2. There was a foul on Manning. It was his 3rd personal on the rebound. Kansas State switches back to this zone. It was effective defensively in the first half.
Yeah, for sure. Now let's see right now. They're up 2 going into the zone. That didn't work that time.
Big Johnson slices them up. Tied at 52.
No, hang on. This thing feels like a buzzer beater, doesn't it, James?
8 top. Haggerty and 1.
I've been impressed with Haggerty's ball handling. Again, came here to be the point guard. Watch that crossover, shake and bake and make with the contact. That is high level. Like I said, he is a professional scorer. He knows how to get to the rim, how to make buckets. You gotta, if you're averaging 22, 23 a game, you've got to have a bag, and he does.
Averages 22.5 per night. Caps off the old school 3. Kansas State leads by 3. Truitt, half hook. Rebound tapped out. They whip it around the wheel, and a runner from Odom on target.
Yeah, Odom's mid-range float game is sick. It's really good.
Haggerty a miss. Hard pass forced in there and knocked away. 8th K-State turnover. Truitt, traffic, and 1. Count the basket. ASU back on top.
How about 6'11", going the length of the court, handling it. The vision right there, knowing, look, I got to take this myself. Goes into the double team right there, fights through contact. That was pretty sweet.
A transfer from San Diego, averaging 7.5 points per game, solid from the line, 6 points, 8 rebounds today. Arizona State has their first lead since it was 26-25. Buka's checked back in. Number 22 in the purple, setting the screen for Haggerty. Rapiak over the top. Fourth turnover in this half for K-State.
Could have shot that. He was wide open.
Ten to shoot. Pick and pop. Truitt gives it up. Open look off the heel. And Buka the rebound for Kansas State.
A good box out there by Buka. Buka again getting extended minutes this afternoon.
He's been the most underrated player on the floor for K-State here today. 7 rebounds.
I agree on that one.
Castillo, stop and start. Rapiak looking for a second three. Money!
He needs to shoot more of them. Nice dish there by the penetration by K-State. Open Rapiak. He's not on the scouting report as a guy that's going to fire into any up at all, maybe one.
With 5 all season coming in, he's hit 2 in this half. The answer, no, and Bashir snatches it for the purple.
And they want to run.
Pull up Castillo from deep. Timeout, Kansas State.
Yeah, and look at Coach Tang. I mean, he looks like, I really think they need to go to him. He's been on the bench, has the 3 fouls. I mean, that was probably part of it. Although he's a guy that does not foul very often. In fact, he almost averages about 2 a game. And so not foul prone. He's obviously setting the screen up high, but I would go to him down low here on this play.
He started the second half, played about 2 minutes, and he's been on the bench until now. Here he is in the post, goes right at Buka and delivers.
He's just so skilled, and that's with his, and what I can tell what they do with him most of the time, it's not back to the basket as much as catch right at that free throw line and let him deal.
Kansas State went on a flurry right before the timeout. Castillo lost his balance. Shot clock at 10. Wildcats out of sync, so Bashir hoists up.
Wow, he gave a look to the front row, too, after that one. And that dribble, that sort of sway dribble, created an amazing amount of space to get that one off.
The counter from the corner, short. Johnny on the spot. Truitt.
Truitt's playing well. That was a nice offensive board, crashing from the outside, and not an easy putback, but made it look easy.
K-State has made their last 3 shots, and they turn it over for the 5th time in the half.
Now here's Truitt right here, just ball hawk going after it. And in motion right there, continuous motion, just knocking that in with the jump hook, using his size. And we caught, or they caught Haggerty right there with the foul, keeping the player in jail. I think Coach Tang was not happy with it. He was sort of wondering what was the foul there. He has a right to physically keep him on his back. I don't know if he got his arm in there or what.
Second on Haggerty. Job underneath. Too tough.
He needs more touches. I mean, he's just good. He just has amazing ability offensively. He is way ahead of the game, as most freshmen would be with that kind of size.
Arizona State was his only power 4 offer. Manny, his 3 in and out, no. ASU can tie or take the lead. Underneath, Truitt, in and out. Collects his own miss and reverses through.
Good job not giving up on it by Truitt. He was long on that little float layup, and the crowd now getting into it.
9th tie of the game. Bashir, this would be number 7. Odom weaving his way as he cycles it out for the Sun Devils. Truitt lets it fly.
He's going to do it again. Again, I think this is Odom or Job. I'd even put Job down on the block and let him go to work.
That was the 14th offensive rebound of the day for ASU. Mausen leaves it underneath. Block and a foul called on Buka.
Pretty nice job there by Buka on that contest. That was close. He's looking at the referee there saying, hey, what'd I do? Got all ball. Let's see here. We'll see it there. Job, nice strong move. Ooh, that looked like all ball to me. Get another good angle of it here. James, I don't know what you think, but to me, that's a good block.
His second foul, that looked clean.
Yep.
Jop at the line. 7'1", shoots 74% from the stripe. What a luxury. And Arizona State has their first lead since the 13-minute mark. $11 points, 4 rebounds, 5 blocks for Masamba Jop, the freshman. Who do you go to on the other end for K-State?
I think for K-State, I mean, Bashir's been hot. Haggerty obviously is the guy. I think it's more about not who, but team. Really get the ball, not sticking. Get it side to side. Get some nice passing. They're so good assisting each other.
Bashir, a clean look. And a foul underneath. Will keep it on this end with Kansas State.
And I think Bashir, you can see him. He can't believe he missed that one and the prior shot. He had really good looks.
Foul is on Mausen, his second.
And ASU has to do a better job locating Bashir. I mean, he's had 2 wide open jump shots.
He's hunting his shot from the top.
Now that one, they had a good contest there. That was a pretty quick shot by Bashir. Nothing wrong with a 3 by him.
The K-State foul sends us to a timeout. Arizona State, meanwhile, for K-State, it's been Bashir Jr. with 18 and Haggerty with 15. ASU at the line, clinging to a 2-point lead.
Well, I think for ASU, this is the recipe for the rest of the game. Get to the line. They missed that one, but get in the paint. They've been dominating right now the paint against this smaller K-State team.
First miss at the line from Gribovich for Arizona State. Castillo at the point. Crosses over deep into the lane. Denied by Jop. 6 to shoot. Castillo was right back to work.
Those drives, but after more passing, they've got to move the ball.
Gribovich 3 slides across the rim. Foul on the rebound, stays on this end.
See, and the reason Jop gets this block, not only because he has, what, a 7'3" or 7'4" wingspan, but the ball never moves. So Jop is in position. He hadn't had to move anywhere on defense that entire possession. But again, Jop, and it looked like that was actually blocked right there by Makeba. Did a nice job getting his hand into it. So
Makeba's at the line. This is where Arizona State makes a living. They get to the free throw line, 3rd most in the Big 12, and today they are 16 for 19. Meanwhile, K-State's 11 for 14. So +5 at the stripe for ASU, and they lead by 3. Makeba's just 53% from the stripe for the year, 2 big ones. It's Haggerty time.
Yeah, that's a good call. He has not had a touch here.
Gets the whistle. Team foul number 6 on Arizona State, who's on a 10-0 run over the last 3:15.
Well, and I like Haggerty taking the ball, right? I think you called it. It's Haggerty time. I'd like to see Haggerty get the ball, pass it, and then get it back in that possession, because then I think you've got the defense moving, and this is that one, obviously, but they get a little movement from the defense and maybe a little more and better angles.
A rare miss at the stripe. Haggerty 76% for the year. Splits the pair. Ends the 10-0 Arizona State run. And a K-State scoring drought of 3.5 minutes. Odom navigates. Wild shot. Job.
Just too big.
Haggerty cycles it out. ASU by 5. Haggerty, offensive foul, player control. 11th K-State turnover. And that'll be the 3rd personal foul against P.J. Haggerty.
Well, it looked like, and that's one thing we've been talking about with Haggerty. You know, having other guys step up to give him some scoring help.
Only 2 Wildcats in double figures. Haggerty and Bashir. And on the catch, Mo Odom steps out of bounds. An unforced error. 3rd turnover against ASU in this half.
Well, they had cut them down in this half tremendously. What, they had 10 in the first half, so a lot better job taking care of it, except that one.
Arizona State living at the rim. Kansas State staying in it with 3-point shooting. Haggerty having wrestled away. Odom crossing, rises up. Gets the bounce.
At the Desert Financial Arena bounce, the home bounce there. But again, I know I'm being redundant. I think K-State here. Now that one he had a little bit of a lane. But that steal is coming after 0 passes on that possession. Would like to see a little bit more, but a great defensive play. Looks like Haggerty may have lost it as well. Fortunate bounce there.
Arizona State picked up a foul out on the yard. It's on Odom, and it puts K-State at the line in the single bonus. That is team foul number 7.
When you make a shot like that as a player, like you work so hard to get every bucket. You make one of those, it's like hitting a 40-footer for par on a golf course in a tournament. They're almost bigger than the normal shots.
And it starts to expand the basket.
Yep, totally.
Missed opportunity at the line. Coaches will say miss of a front end, free throws like a turnover.
Yep. The D by Castillo there.
Drop. Fires a hard pass underneath.
That was all set up by Castillo, just fighting outside with Odom.
Largest lead of the game for Arizona State with 5:22 to play. They are on a 14-1 run. Kansas State has not made a field goal in over 5 minutes. Johnson crosses, power dribble, and it's in.
And Jop again trying the Euro, take it off the rim right there. But that was a great set play called by Coach Tang. And sometimes when you're struggling, a set play where everybody knows where to go and what to do, and they saw a matchup they like and took advantage of it.
Nate Johnson for Kansas State has 7. Here's Pig Johnson on the other end.
You're so worried about Pig Johnson getting to the line, getting angles, getting into your body. Bashir kind of backed off at the last second, gave him an opening.
Pocket pass out of bounds. Rapiak couldn't handle it.
You see, you watch Bashir here in this last basket. He's taller, he's 6'7". He's got a little size on him, but Johnson does such a good job leaning into you, and that's what created the space.
The lob! Jump punctuates. Timeout, K-State.
Altman, former K-State coach. Got some time there in Manhattan. But yeah, Brooks has been he's been a monster for the Suns, big time, and beloved here in the Valley.
ASU's on an 18-3 run. K-State needs a basket. Haggerty. Buka keeps it alive. Haggerty relocates right between the eyes.
Well, biggest shot of the game, no doubt, and the biggest rebound of the game from Buka, and he's been key in this game.
Trims it to a 6-point ASU lead.
I mean, 9 points with 3:40 to go. If you're down 9, you're not out of it by any stretch, but made such a big difference here. They can get a stop. K-State right back in it.
John gets it way too deep.
And I love that ASU not only got him back in the game, but has gone to him, has made him a factor in this second half.
He has 18. Bashir, the lob. Buka handling, had it denied. Rapiak pops out. Tapped out. It will stay with the Wildcats.
I'll tell you what, these rims are a little tight. There's some tight shots that seem like they're going in, and there's Buka there. Gets it over to Haggerty. Nice job after he just missed. And job here, look at the spin move from what, 16 feet. Kind of finger rolls it. I mean, he has such hand skill, and his footwork is tremendous.
Bashir turns down a 3 to pull and connect.
Bashir there. ASU's running so hard on him to get him off the line. He made a nice little crab dribble. That got him the space, and then unfamiliar territory for him at 15 feet, but able to knock it in.
Kansas State in their zone leaves Odom, misses a 3. Wildcats down by 6 and on the move with possession. Quick hands. Pick Johnson bats it out of play.
Looking like the football player, defensive back right there. He anticipated that. Came all the way from almost the low block to get the deflection.
Yeah, he has a little safety in his game.
He does. Yep.
Here comes Nate Johnson in for the Wildcats. The powerful guard who has 7 points in 24 minutes, has been an impact on defense. Haggerty closing in on 2.5 to go. Floater, no, tap out, ASU controls.
That's Haggerty's shot too. You can tell frustrated. He knew he had a good look.
He's been off today, 6 for 16 from the floor. Johnson terminates. Odom with 10 on the timer. Odom turning the corner. And he draws a foul, which is probably a good thing for K-State because John was ready to throw it down.
Yeah, and that was a good call. You could see Odom, he was about to turn the corner, and the push was when it really got him floating more towards the baseline.
Foul was called on Nate Johnson. That is his 4th personal. Odom is nails at the foul line. 88% for the year. .206 to play. Arizona State leads K-State 78-72. They've scored 42 points in this second half. K-State led at intermission. Odom's free throw pops out. Remember, Kansas State under Tang in his 4 seasons are 50-9 when they lead at the half, and they had a 2-point lead at the break. Odom 1 for 2. Johnson, McGriff at the rim.
Wow, are you kidding me? Johnson got in the air, was stuck because he was going to throw it to the right, and then at the last second, what a pass.
It's a 5-point ASU lead. Some nervous energy for the home fans. Odom over the top. Job lost the handle.
Ooh, they may look at that again. Yeah, they may look at that.
Kansas State still has a challenge in their pocket because they won their first challenge.
And you see what Coach Tang did really smart. He checked someone in, so now he can go to the challenge. I think they wanted to look at it again. They bring Johnson out, and I guess they're not going to challenge it.
Inside of 2 minutes, only the officials
That's right. That's right.
go to the monitor.
And maybe that's what they were hoping that they would look at. That was close.
Miss, tip in, jump.
The emotion from shot there. He's fired up. Offensive rebounding, not something ASU does well. They've been good today.
McGriff blocked off the glass. ASU with a 7-point lead, and they fumble the dribble out of bounds. Big Johnson bounced it off his foot.
Just an unforced error there after an amazing block on that defensive end by ASU.
67 seconds left. Haggerty, he's fouled. PJ Haggerty will shoot 2 free throws for Kansas State.
And this is where Haggerty's so great, because he's just a bucket getter, and when you got a minute to go, just put it in his hands and make offense.
There's the tag number, 50 and 9. We're leading at the half. Haggerty has missed 4 free throws today. 5 for 9 at the line. Goes 1 for 2. Kansas State will bring Taj Manning into the lineup, replacing Johnson.
Well, I wonder here, obviously you're going to press. You try to make a steal if you're K-State. If you don't get it, do they foul right away? I would tend to foul right here. And I'll be curious to see what they do. ASU, I don't think will attack, but I think they will foul.
They brought in Manning and Rapiak.
They're not going to foul.
20 on the shot clock. 47 seconds to play. We're inside of a minute. Arizona State hoists a 3 in and out. And a foul underneath. Drop is too powerful for Rapiak. 4th foul on the K-State big, and it puts Jop at the line for a pair. That is the 12th team foul against K-State in the half.
Yeah, Rapiak at 6'9", he's easily giving up 4 inches. Not sure if he's giving up a lot of weight, but the length and the height of Jop too much. These are tight rims, James. I'm seeing a lot of shots go in and out.
And a shooter like you would know.
I look for that.
Jop is 4 for 5 from the line. That was his first miss today. 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 blocks. And he sat a good chunk of the second half, from about the 18-minute mark to the under 12. Timeout on the floor.
A huge comeback.
K-State needs a basket, and they need it quickly. Bashir with the left. Timeout, Jerome Tang. It's down to a 5-point lead for Arizona State. With Arizona State leads by 5. 32 seconds to go. K-State with the pressure. In backcourt, Mayusin.
Now they found the job.
Haggerty commits the foul with 25.4 on the stadium clock. It's the 4th foul on PJ Haggerty.
And Gribovich is a good free throw shooter, 80% on the numbers, but the reality is he's only shot 10 on the season. So, you know, we'll see here. Obviously, clutch pressure time at 25 seconds.
Arizona State trying to snap a 4-game losing streak after they started 9-2 with some impressive wins in the non-conference. Gribovich pops out.
Again, an in-and-out free throw that we've seen now a few times.
Still a 2-possession game, regardless of what happens here. Got the back in.
And again, K-State does not need a 3, of course. That would be the preferred shot. Could they get one and get one quickly here?
Arizona State applying some pressure, and they commit a foul with no time coming off the clock.
Whoa. The last thing they wanted to do.
This will put PJ Haggerty at the line, who is 6 for 10 today from the stripe. Normally really good from the line, 80% for his career.
And the preseason Big 12 newcomer of the year has 20 points in 37 minutes. Most makes for his career in the country. Coming into this one today.
Well, you've heard
a friendly roll.
You've heard me say this before. As a shooter, I used to love when it would hit the front rim, dribble to the back, and come back in. It kind of meant your touch was right there, and usually the second one was true.
Puts it right through. It's a 4-point Arizona State lead.
And that was key, not only for the points, they get to set their defense. And then same strategy here. You try for the steal immediately. If not, you need to foul pretty quickly.
Kansas State trying to extend the game. Taj Manning, a hard foul on Grubevich. For it to even be a flagrant one, it has to be excessive and or unnecessary. An awkward foul, nonetheless. Grubevich, he just went 1 for 2 his last trip. That one's off the mark.
Well, and really just the same strategy just keeps coming up for K-State. Whether he makes it or misses, your job if you're K-State is to get a quick bucket. If it's a 3, great. If it's not, fine, you get a 2 and set things up.
Rinse and repeat with 24.7 left. Rukeba checks in for ASU. 2-possession lead.
Either way, it's got to be quick. They got to go.
Haggerty crosses over. Haggerty splits the defense. His runner pops out. Tip in McGriff. The official stops play.
Yeah, that was the call.
With 16.6 on the clock, it's a 3-point lead for Arizona State.
I'm not sure what they called them.
The ball had been inbounded. They're looking at the clock.
State too, because now they can set their defense. One trap, you don't foul, then off the. Oh boy!
Late whistle. 11.7 left.
Wow, that would have made it really interesting. So they get the trap, exactly what they're supposed to do, not foul yet. That looked like a clean tap from the back. Woo.
They called it on Nate Johnson.
Wow, ASU fortunate on that play.
So Johnson is fouled out. Haggerty, McGriff, Rapiek, and Manning all have 4 fouls for K-State. Johnson is disqualified. Andre Kostic will enter the lineup for the Wildcats. He's only played a couple of minutes. That was back in the first half.
Well, if Pick Johnson makes both, now you're almost in a situation, K-State, where you have to make a 3.
3-point ASU lead. Johnson at the line. He missed it.
Is this maybe a ball don't lie situation after the back tap there?
If he misses the second and you're Bobby Hurley, do you foul?
I do. I do for sure. That's a great question, James. I do in those situations. If it's under 12 seconds or over 4, I do foul.
K-State down by 4. Haggerty a prayer.
Oh my goodness.
It's a 1-point game. 4.4 left.
Wow. This. Now what? And now obviously you want to just foul. You want to get the steal or foul right away.
There it is.
Yep.
It'll put Odom at the line.
Good job by Bashir there to recognize that. And now they're in it. And to your point, this is going to be interesting here because if Odom makes 1, obviously you don't foul. Now, if there were 2 seconds left, I would almost make the argument that Odom misses his second because it's hard to get a rebound and even take a shot.
Sure.
Now, I know some people would disagree. They're like, just get your 3 points, and then the worst you can do is tie.
Odom, 1 for 2 today. This is huge.
And remember here, James, to me, if you look up at the clock, I always thought however many seconds were left or how many dribbles you have as a player. So if you're K-State, you got in the back of your mind, think I got 4 dribbles to make this. Does ASU, to your point, now foul up 3? I think they will. I was looking over at Bobby Hurley there.
Timeout, Arizona State. It's a 3-point lead with 4.3 seconds left.
They're going to talk that over and figure that out.
We'll remember the 2010 Sweet 16 where they accidentally fouled an Xavier player at half court who got 3 free throws. K-State possession. Down by 3. Haggerty splits the defense. Haggerty from half court. It was partially blocked. Comes up well short. And Arizona State hangs on here at home.
It almost looked to me like Odom was trying to foul or thinking about it. I think what Bobby told him is if you get the opportunity and it's an